Overcoming the narcissistic viral infection, PTSD, rage, resentment. Those who have been the victims of the unimaginable cruelty and vicious psychological and physical attacks from a narc and their flying monkeys are left with many issues to deal with that infect the thought process. A narcissistic viral infection that can turn a once peaceful and relatively harmless person into a person who wants revenge and to inflict pain. The narc virus, the toxic, poisonous and negative thinking patterns and attitudes, then takes hold in the previously gentle person who was quite willing to turn the other cheek and let bygones be bygones. So it's important to try to see why this occurs, what causes the virus infection, how to detect the virus, which may be dormant and not even noticeable, and what can be done to counteract the infection. Prevention is already too late. Preventing the virus can only be done by not coming in contact with it. Point 1. The narcissistic virus, what is it? The narc virus is as described above, negative thought patterns and emotions that are toxic and poisonous. Chief among these is envy, said to be the root emotion of all narcs. Anger, jealousy, rage, resentment, deceptive behaviors and speech, lack of empathy, having the ability to know right from wrong, but deliberately doing wrong when it would be just as much effort to do the right thing. No remorse, lying without any guilt. Deliberate gaslighting and reframing just to win an argument, or worse, just to disorient the victim. Never any remorse and total lack of ability to accept any blame or responsibility for anything that goes wrong, and purposely always placing the blame on the other person. Total lack of ability to accept criticism and a subsequent stunting of emotional and psychological growth. The narc is at the emotional level of a 5-year-old, but has, by mimicking the behaviors of other adults, learned to appear like they are mature. The crown on all of this negativity is the ability to put on an act or wear a mask. The narc has many masks or false identities they cultivate over time, but the narc will never show their true persona to the world. The narc is a fake and a fraud by definition, and has cultivated these faults to high art, only second to their flawless ability to lie, which they are probably most proud of. The narc is continually manipulating those around him and wants total control of his environment. The narc has no loyalty, all the while pronouncing how loyal he is and pointing out disloyalty in others where none exists. Lastly, the narc has a lack of some very important emotions, the ability to love and the ability to feel empathy, along with the lack of remorse or guilt named above, and the narc can't forgive. Point 2. How does the virus infect the victim? First and foremost, just being around these negative thought patterns for long enough will make them appear normal, and just by osmosis eventually be thought patterns that start taking hold in the victim's mind. Second, the cruelty and viciousness of the narc and the flying monkeys can eventually turn a mild-mannered person, who wants to avoid conflict at all costs, into an aggressor, by breaking the victim down and terrorizing him to the point where he becomes willing to fight. The victim may often hold on to their humanity and only fight defensively. But severe, aggressive, terrorism done for long enough may over time breed resentment, and a need for the victim to take revenge and inflict pain, so that is one of the things the victim has to fight against. Third, even when the victim has come to terms with the narcissistic abuse, they frequently have flashbacks, and PTSD is triggered, which produces severe distress, emotional pain, and anxiety well out of proportion to the subject or event that triggers it. Frequently the victim can become increasingly resentful, when he realizes the extent of the damage. The purposeful damage that the narc, in tandem with their flying monkeys, did. My triggers, any mention of the military, since this is what my narc was fixated on and continually rubbed in my face, EMS workers, public speakers, postal workers, inventors, and veterans of all sorts, as well as social justice warriors of certain varieties that will remain nameless. The narc I was involved with was ruthless and totally disloyal to me in her comments on a social site, and she certainly should have known better. She rubbed her new intimate relationship in my face in the cruelest manner imaginable. To this day she is so proud and totally unremorseful for the willful and active pain that she purposely caused me. I did nothing to ever hurt her on purpose, and the flying monkey's incredible attacks and aggression, what is there to say about that? This is a person that never met me or knew me, a person who I never did a thing to. That person attacked me in the most vicious ways possible while being goaded on by the narc. They shared their pleasure in teaming up and causing me pain. How sick. So you can understand the potential for the buildup of rage and resentment under the surface. Point 3. Overcoming the virus. This is where the only way I know of to fight this virus comes in, the Christian part. You may have overcome the narc, either by walking away, or maybe you fought back and at least preserved some of your dignity and self-respect, or you simply allowed time to pass without contact and it seems you are improving. As a Christian, the saying is always, "Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord." In other words, leave it in God's hands and let God be the judge and mete out the punishment. This may mean God judges you to be the one that is wrong and you to require the punishment, not the person you have the argument with. In other words, leave it in God's hands. Not let God punish your abuser. This is usually enough, but unfortunately the narc virus is still dormant in your system, and when you are in the middle of trying to rebuild all that the narc has purposely taken from you, and you are struggling and alone, and meanwhile the narc seems untouched and in a new relationship with the nasty flying monkey, the victim can get hit with rage and thoughts of wanting revenge and to inflict pain on the narc and their new partner. So right when the victim thinks they are in the clear, the narc virus takes hold of the victim's thoughts. So what to do? Here is what I consider the Christian remedy, and what I consider the only remedy that will work the fastest and give the deepest and most complete cure. First and foremost, focus on Jesus and what he did for you and humanity. Second, realize that your life in this world is only temporary. If you are saved, this situation with the narc won't even be a drop in the bucket of your overall existence. Third, continually give the situation to God and leave it in his hands again. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Say this as many times a minute, hour, or day as needed. Fourth, and this is crucial, since you are not to seek vengeance or take the law into your own hands, you need to identify the real enemy in this battle, yourself. God will handle the narc or not, that is not your concern. It's up to you to fight the enemy within. Focus all of that anger and resentment against the negative emotions and realize they are the result of the virus that the narc infected you with. Once you focus on the narc virus, the rage, anger, anxiety, and desire to get even subside and dissipate. The last thing you want to do is go down to the level of the narc. Move on with your life, be patient, don't worry if the narc will ever have to pay. I have fought that battle and can personally tell you it has brought much peace and tranquility into my life. That, combined with a long walk that clears the mind of toxic thoughts and emotions. This is my way of daily meditation and my path to joy and peace in the middle of the worst situation I have ever experienced. The narc virus may still be present and circulating in your mind and emotions, so it needs to be treated with the above medicine as often as it arises. Eventually you will be fully cured. Thank you for watching this video. Comments are welcomed. Stay strong and know that with knowledge, understanding, and help from others you can recover from narc abuse. Remember, you deserve to be happy and have joy. You did nothing to deserve the abuse by your narc partner, and it is only your responsibility to fight the negative emotions inside of you. Put your effort into that, and you will experience healing. Peace be with you.